What happens when one of your owners drops out of your Dynasty Fantasy Football League? I'm Johnny B of UpsideDownDrafty.com. The orphan owner. Oh, man. Tough, complicated situation. I guess you got to start by saying a Dynasty style, Fantasy Football League is different from a keeper. It's different from redraft. It's obvious why. Because of the environment. It's established more of a pro style team, which, owners are very much more serious. I think they're more focused, they're more involved, they're engaged. And when you enable team owners to keep players and build a team over time, I think there's a much stronger sense of ownership. And that success is achieved with a greater sense of satisfaction. Why? Because I think you take out the luck factor in Dynasty. I think it's greatly reduced. You're not depending on the guy who wins the waiver wire guy of the year and wins the league. This is, over time, you're dealing with rookies. You're dealing with situations that are difficult and situations that are difficult. Wins are definitely earned, I think, each week because of the planning and research necessary. You got trades. You got rookie drafts. A lot of this stuff is just, it's quite, honestly, it's amazing how Dynasty is so much different than redraft. But with that, it comes from sad situations. You got guys that want to quit. You guys got, some guys want to quit mid-season. Well, what the hell do you do with that? What do you do as a commish? Well, you're going to have to establish in your rules committee, if you've watched my videos before, and in your written constitution, you're going to have some sort of amendment that says if a guy leaves week 6, okay, you're going to, or let's say week 7, whatever, mid-season, you're going to have the commissioner and the rules committee collectively start a lineup every year for the guy who drops out. You're going to have to monitor the team. You can't do any trading. You can't do any waiver wire pickups. You just got to get through the year. You got to suck it up and get through the year, because then you have to deal with the next duck in a row, right, as you line up your ducks. And you're going to deal with, next year you're going to have a team that's for sale. I don't recommend filling in an owner that's going to come in mid-year to pick up the scraps of a team that's been left hanging dry. I don't think you want to do that. But you're going to next year have to find somebody to replace this team. I think in a sense, right, to be concise here, a Dynasty League is for most owners that want to experience the real GM style, the real experience of everything. Mistakes or successes in Dynasty can affect the future of a franchise for years to come, just like in the NFL. But a really shrewd owner, through excellent trading and cognizance usage of, let's say, NC2A, type of coaching, type of systems, type of divisions. As you watch your college football, as you recruit, you can build a dominant team for years to come in Dynasty without having to start over each year. That's the reason why. I mean, a lot of the questions I get around orphans is, number one, how do you fill them in? Number two, when does a Dynasty League ever end? Well, I guess a Dynasty League comes to an end when you only have about 7 owners total, including yourself. I mean, to me, if I only have 7 owners, we're canning this thing. Done. Lid's closed. Case closed. I don't want to play anymore. There's not enough people. I like 12. 14 is extreme and strategic and very tough and challenging, which I've done. And 10 is just, I don't know. It's like Goldilocks. It's kind of too cold. It's not just right. 12 is just right. So anytime I dip below that 8 threshold, I'm done. We're done. We're going to, disband the league and go from there. So kind of back to when you're signing up, folks, because now you're going to have a ripple effect, right? Next year, you got to fill this thing. So you got to get a call to action. Hopefully you have a list of guys that are interested. You got to make it salient. You got to make it urgent. Hey, man, I got this league. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. You got to join. And you got to vet these guys. You got to say, listen, I need to know, what other leagues have you played in? And if you've watched my other videos, what are they on a scale of 1 to 5? Are they a veteran? Number 5, are they better than the average bear? Are they just some grandpa or cousin that you don't know very well that says, oh yeah, I watch the NFL on random Sundays? You got to figure out who you want in your league, right? And then as the commissioner and as the voting happens, you got to get this guy in. But when the guy does come in, I recommend you charge 2 years out. Why? You need a commitment here. You need this guy to know, man, you're going to pay whatever it is. Let's say it's $100. I want $200 in cash, and then you buy this team, and you can resurrect it. You can do whatever you want with it, but I need to commit for 2 years. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. That's silly. That's way too much money. Why didn't the other guys have to do that? Because no one else dropped out. And this is what you have to do. You got to get that commitment, okay, because you want strength. You certainly don't want the rest of the league and the consensus for people to go, oh, well, I don't want to play anymore either. My team sucks. You got to get guys that are serious, number one. But if you're going to fill the hole in a tub that's sinking in the middle of the ocean, you better have some organization around it. So that's what I'm saying, right? You got to make this thing a year-long commitment. You got to get guys that are interested. I'd rather get, obviously, a veteran in my league to fill the gap. Is he going to rebuild that team and win the league one day? He very well could. But I'd rather have him than some rookie or some, better than the average bear. Just depends if you're running a family style, if you're going kind of outside the Outer Banks, like I told you before in my other videos, where you don't know anybody. Hopefully, if this is a family league, you got an Uncle Eddie, or you got a brother, or you got, somebody in Miami that you can call on, like Jimmy Buffett, right? And say, hey, man, you want to be a real GM? You want to experience the trials and tribulations of Dynasty Fantasy Football? You're in. Give me 2 years entry right now, and you can be in. But I think when you compete against the same 11 owners year in, year out, I think in order to keep the league together and prevent teams from dropping out, that initial entry plus 1, right, plus 1 year out helps hold the glue together. I think moving forward, you'll always be paying a year in advance. That way, you can get those guys committed because you certainly don't want them to drop out. You don't want to be doing this all the time. Hey, for sale by owner, we got another guy dropping out. Again, guy drops out mid-season. The commissioner and the rules committee put together the strongest lineup to hold the integrity of the league. If a guy drops out the end of the year, then you have time to fill him and sell him. I'd recommend getting this thing filled early, right after Super Bowl Sunday, or by March 1st. Dynasty doesn't mess around. It doesn't wait. You don't want to wait too long before you fill a team. And some guys thrive on the fact that they're going to pick up a team where they get to manipulate it, and they get to take exactly what's left over, like the scraps, and they get to build their own blocks with it. Again, Dynasty is about building a little bit better than you were yesterday or last year, and where you see yourself in the future. And I think that's why I play Dynasty. That's why I love it. And, I just think you're going to have so much fun if you do it this way. It's a sad situation, again, when you're dealing with these orphan owners, but it also can be a blessing. You might get a fresh, resurgence, a blood transfusion in an owner that is going to bring the league. The league's only as good as the owners. I feel terrible saying this, but 2008 was the last fun year I've ever really had, because that was before the iPhone, and I think now everybody has social media shit. You're watching this on YouTube right now. You're watching on Twitter or Google Plus or whatever you're doing. Back in the day before 2008, fantasy owners rushed home. I mean, rushed home on a Monday night, Tuesday night, right? They're on that chat waiver wire, and they're going back and forth with stuff. And I think, in a sense, fantasy football, yes, it got way better. The iPhone came out. How fun was that, checking scores on it? But I think it's changed a lot. And so you got to find that serious owner. The band of brothers you get has to be strong. It has to be good. It has to be somewhere where these guys are active owners. They want to trade. They want to participate. So I wish you luck on that. But if you do happen to have an orphan owner out there, you better fix it quick. This is Johnny B, UpsideDownDrafting.com. Thank you. Have a great day. Talk to you next time on the show.